What's going on, everybody? This is gonna be episode 5 of Nerd News, and man, this episode is gonna be focused on reviewing Infinity War. So if you haven't seen Infinity War, I suggest skipping this episode or going out seeing that movie and then coming back and checking out the review of it. And the review is, how can I say it anymore? Like, if you've seen anything in the news, you already know this movie is amazing. This is the culmination of about 10 years of movies for Marvel and Disney, of storylines that they've put together. And it comes to fruition here in an amazing way, literally. So basically, to set the stage, it's basically the big bad in this movie is Thanos, and like he is pretty much just unlike any other villain you've ever seen. He is smart, he's strong, he's conniving, he does anything he needs to get to meet to his ends. And that ends is destroying half the universe. So we come in on the first part of the movie and he's already at Thor's ship. Like, he's, if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, let's say like they're coming from Ragnarok and they're kind of refugees on a ship, and it's just, you hear the microphone like, help, we're just families, we're Asgardian families, we are not a warship. And then you cut to a scene with Thanos like just standing there, and Thor just knocked out, and like the Black Order standing around, and Loki's just like and the movie, it gets going. Like, he kind of grabs Loki, and Loki is just like, we have a Hulk, and Hulk comes out and he grabs Thanos, and he's like, and you're thinking like, yeah, he's about to give Thanos work. Like, this is the beginning of the movie, they're already starting off with the Hulk. Man, that's gonna be great. And it just doesn't go the way you think, because Thanos is strong, and at this time he has the gauntlet. He has one gem, and it's the power gem, and he doesn't even use it on Hulk. He just trashes the Hulk. I mean, like, totally overpowers him, and like, it's a beat down on Hulk that has never been seen in the MCU. Literally, like, you'll see it, and you'll see the pace that this movie is setting. It's like, you see this beat down, and you're just like, oh, this is what they're gonna be doing. Yeah, this is gonna be something to see. So, one of the best things about it is, like, after Hulk gets knocked out, Heimdall kind of wakes up and gets Hulk out of there using like his dark magic, and like so one of the things that's interesting is they never really tell you how Thor gets to Earth in the original Avengers, and you find out like, oh, Heimdall has that powers to send people like that. So it was actually Heimdall that sent them to Earth in the first place. Because at the end of the Avengers, he just uses the Tesseract to get out of there. But but yeah, he sends Hulk out, and you know, adversely spells doom for everybody else pretty much there. Um, so they kill Heimdall. Just in case you guys like, the stakes in this movie are real. They kill Heimdall right there. I mean, this is like 10 minutes into the movie, man, and like, they have a short conversation with Loki, and Loki, originally, like, if you watch Thor Ragnarok, Loki stole the Tesseract, and he's just, because he's Loki, he can't help himself. And even Thor says it. He's like, man, Loki, you're the worst. Like, even when stuff is falling apart, you're still Loki, I guess, And Loki's kind of like trying to bargain with Thanos, like, you know what? I mean, I can help you. You've never been to Earth. I know Earth. I know the people there. I know how they operate. Like, I can help you. And he's like, I'm gonna swear my allegiance to you. He's like, my name is Loki. And he pauses and he looks at Thor. He's like Odin's son. And then he goes to actually stab Thanos. Thanos, of course, he catches it. He's Thanos, So he catches it and he's just like, yeah, shouldn't have did that, and he chokes Loki out. I mean, like his eyes were popping out of his face. It was crazy to watch. It was, and that's how the movie starts. Like, so they like Loki dies. Just so you know, spoilers all over this. So, um, it was just like, wow, they killed these two people in the beginning of the movie. Like the movie didn't even start after they kill Loki. He blows up the ship, and literally, that's how the movie starts. The credits open with that. It's ridiculous. Um, then after that, like you see the movie pacing with you come to New York and like you see Hulk smash into the Sanctum Sanctorum, runs into Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange doesn't know who he is, so he goes back to Banner. Banner's like, I need you to contact Tony Stark. He gets to Tony Stark through a portal. He like opens a portal in the middle of him and Pepper talking. And he's like, I need you to come with me. And like, I got one of your friends here. And then, they come together and he tells them about Thanos. And like, Tony's gearing up because it's like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been preparing for. And like, this is why I make these suits. So, the Black Order comes, which is Thanos' minions, Ebony Maw and Obsidian Black, I think his name is, and or something Obsidian. It might be Obsidian, but anyway, they come. He's like a big hulking creature, and another one who's like this skinny looking kind of old man alien. You're thinking like that guy, he's not gonna do anything, and this is quite the opposite. Like he is crazy strong. He has like magic powers and he's just like wrecking everybody. He was awesome. Spider-Man comes in this scene and that was awesome. The whole movie, like I'm not gonna go scene by scene because it's a lot. It's a lot to go scene by scene. This video would be like 3 hours. So I just want to touch base on characters. Thor Thor had a lot of runtime in this movie, and it pays off, especially at the end of the movie when he actually makes Stormbreaker and he comes in and you see him come in. It's like, yeah, it's like that get up and cheer moment, and there was a lot of moments like that in this movie. Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. Of course, like he's Robert Downey Jr. He kills it every time, but in this, he had so many emotional cues and stuff like he was working with. He's always good, and you can see the toll this stuff was taking on him. And by the end of the movie, he's just racked. He's just like I think that scene where you see him like looking like really stressed out, and he has his hand over his face and look like he's about to just break down. That scene is pretty much I think the end of the movie, where after everything happens that happens. So Captain America had a little bit of time in this movie, not too much. His introduction was great. It was like a whole train, and then you see him come out of the shadows, and then like you see Proxima Midnight throw the spear at him, and it was like, whoa, he caught that. Captain America, baby. Yeah, so it's like it's a lot of crazy moments in there. And Chris Evans did great. He's always good as Captain America. He's really good. Like he usually has, his Captain America demeanor where, and it's like, yeah, like that's the dude we want to follow because he always seems to know what's the right thing. So the the other little things is like Scarlet Witch came up big in this movie. I really liked her character. Okoye was hilarious in this movie. She was kicking butt. Black Widow, like the female presence in this movie was felt. And like I know a lot of people are like, well, how come how come they'll have a whole bunch of females? I'm like, man, like the female presence was felt in this movie because like they were like I'm pretty much sure that Scarlet Witch is probably the most OP character in all of this cinematic universe. She just doesn't know how to use it yet. So Vision was best with Scarlet Witch. Like when they were together, like the whole romance they were having amazing. Like they were just it was just a lot of personal moments, and like because after that, like he spends most of the movie just trying to stay alive. Like they kind of rip into him, and because of course he has an infinity gem in his head. So um the Guardians of the Galaxy scenes were hilarious. Like everything from when Drax was doing the little I I mastered the art of moving in slow motion so you can't even see me. Hilarious, like into the serious moments where you see Gamora saying like, "Hey, if Thanos catches me, I need you. If there's any chance that he's gonna catch me, I need you to kill me." And like the real dramatic moments of the Guardians were crazy and actually crucial later on in the movie because it's a part where something happens and Star Lord he flips out and kind of costs the heroes a victory over Thanos. Even though I still think Thanos would have trashed them either way, but they would have probably had a better chance. But Josh Brolin, oh my God, this dude, Thanos was one of my favorite villains in comic book history ever. Like if you haven't read Thanos Quest, read Thanos Quest. Um, an amazing comic by Jim Starlin. And then like after that, you read Infinity Gauntlet, which is it's just amazing. Like if you haven't read that source material and you see this movie, you're gonna want to read those books. So I'm just letting you know now. Like Thanos Quest, Infinity Gauntlet, and Infinity. I mean, this movie was mashed up between those three. More of Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity. Like those were two kind of smashed together to kind of make the story for this movie. The good thing about like the great thing about Thanos is like he has a purpose. That purpose isn't good. It isn't. It isn't positive. Like he doesn't. But like he has a goal. Like and he knows his goal, and you know why he has that goal. Like when he has his backstory and explains what happens to his planet and what they didn't like, what he could have prevented. Like he has a goal and like it's set in stone, and he doesn't let anything get in his way, and he's basically like a bulldozer, and he drives right over the Avengers. Like he's just like, look, this is what's gonna happen. And like I love the little talk between him and Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange came off in this movie, by the way. Like it's so many characters to just like to keep up with. It's just like they did such a great job in keeping up with the characters. Like when you watch it, you're just in that moment and you stay in that moment and you're just like, oh my God, like what's happening over here? And then it kind of moves over to there. And you're like, man, that's crazy, but what's happening over here? And then it switches over. It does such a great job at juggling these characters everywhere. And then just like it's one, you're on a different planet. Like Tony Stark and Spider-Man and everybody else is on a different planet. Then like somebody was on Earth, and then somebody's over there forging a mystic new hammer for Thor. Like it's a lot. It's a really lot to to have in one movie, and the Russo brothers did it so amazingly. And I believe it's uh, Freely and Chris. I don't know the writers though. I'm sorry, I don't remember their names, but they're amazing writers. And when I look their names up, I'm gonna be mad because it's like Christopher Freely and Marcus something, but they're great. They've been doing Captain America since the beginning. So they did the first Avenger, they did Winter Soldier, and then they did Captain America: Civil War. They wrote this Avengers movie, and I believe they wrote the next movie. So they've been working with the Russo brothers for a while, and it's good to see that their collaboration, like those four people, are just killing it. And on top of Kevin Feige, just like making this whole universe together, like this movie is like it's if you watch the Marvel movies, this movie is nothing but 100% payoff. Like everything from like the characters, the story, the jokes, the lines, like the storylines that come in the head here is so much payoff. Like if you're a fan of the MCU, like, and you've been following these movies for 10 years, like, this is what they've been building to. And like it's amazing. It's amazing to see it done. And like it's not just like comic book movie wise. This is movie wise. Like this movie is beautifully shot. Like from start to finish. Like the CG on Thanos is so good that you're just like he's a big purple guy. That's a big purple guy in real life because it's literally a scene where he's crying and you can see like the tear come down and little cuts in his face and he's just dropping down and like it's a part where he's talking to Tony Stark and he's like, man, I hope they remember you. And I'm just like, man, like the lip movement is so on point and like the face he makes and I'm just like yeah, I believe in him. Well, I believe he's a real guy, but like the performances by all these characters were amazing, especially Thanos. Thanos is maybe like 65% of the movie, and like he gets a lot of screen time, and for good reason. Like they're pulling on something amazing here, and the movie's ending is ridiculous, and it leaves you level. Like I was sitting in the seat, and I saw the ending happen, and I was just like, it's like, are they? Did they really do it? Did they really do the snap? They did the snap. And then when like heroes started disappearing, I was like, what? Like they did it. They like not only did they execute a flawless movie, they did that at the ending. I was like, they did the comic book version of Infinity Gauntlet, and for like people who have read the comic books, that's just like never thought we would see that on in the theater ever. Like and like he finishes it off and like he gets out of there. Like Thor injures him, but like he's just like he looks at Thor's like you should have aimed for the head, and then he like does the snap, and then he kind of books out of there. And like the talk he had with like everything he said he was gonna do, he did. Like literally, he went home and he was like, he's like, I'm gonna go home and sit in the sunset because Doctor Strange asked him like, after you destroy half the universe, what do you do? And he's like, I'm gonna go home and watch the sunset. Like he was just like, yeah, like I don't like because in his mind he's doing this for people. And in a sense, like I understand, like, hey, like we're living on a planet with 7 billion people on it, and our resources are limited, and that planet can't hold these many people for too long. And if the population were cut in half, we would be able to have resources for everybody. And like I understand it, but the way he's going about it is totally wrong. But you understand it, like it's relatable because we have this problem now. So like his solution isn't a great solution, but like in his mind, he's doing what's right, and he sacrificed a lot to do it. So you're just like, man, like this dude's he's serious about his goal. Like he set something in motion and he followed through all the way. It's even a point where he basically has to make a sacrifice, probably one of his hardest sacrifices he had to make, and he's like, I ignored my destiny before and I can't do it again because like this is what the universe needs. And it's heavy. It's heavy with a lot of like even though people might think this is just like a superhero ensemble movie, it's not. It's heavy with a lot of questions and the premise of balance. Like not even just like balancing the storyline, balancing characters, balancing writing, balancing the dark and the light and the comedy and the action. This movie does it perfectly, and like this is an amazing feat of film. It's not just like an amazing superhero movie. Like, and definitely if you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you have, watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna see it a few more times to dissect it, break it down, and see everything that I can see because that's an amazing movie, and you should always support amazing movies. Even though I think is made a lot of killer money already. I think in America is like 258 million, and worldwide is already at 640 million. So it's making money, but yeah, it deserves to make all the money, just like Black Panther did last few months. This movie is I don't see anything challenging this movie until Deadpool comes out. So, but that's just what I think. I want to hear what you think, so you can always text me. No, not text me. Hit me up on Twitter at edog11885. Also check out the Daily Motion page, Eric the Brown Daily Motion page, always on YouTube, Eric the Brown or edog11885. Always again on the Gaming Advisories Facebook page. Also, you can check me out there. But later, and Wakanda forever.